Since dogs have high phenotypic variance and allegedly low genotypic variance, can we extrapolate this logic to claim that phenotypic diversity observed in fossils cannot prove mutation evolution?
Okay, having experienced both, I'll take the first step. One of the problems with fossils. Now, you might struggle with this for the moment until you actually have to go and do it for yourself. When you have animals, you can actually run experiments. If it's fruit flies, and I spent 3 years ripping salivary glands out of Drosophila melanogaster, matching the chromosomal bands and trying to figure out why some had red eyes, why some had 2 pairs of wings or whatever. You can actually run experiments on living creatures because they're there, and you can check what results when you cross this with that and whether you can put them in the same category. So when you go up and down the coast of California and you find 4 different variations of fruit flies and they won't interbreed, all of a sudden you discover that your interbreeding rule is not necessarily the definition of species. They can't interbreed even though they've got exactly the same genetics. The bits and pieces have changed position on the chromosome, right? So there's many ways to produce species, even though they can be phenotypically very similar. They're fruit flies. But when you come to dig up fossil, no, I've never found a fossil fruit fly, even though I've got lots of fossil flies. The biggest problem, and Diane can confirm this, is we cannot run breeding experiments.
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment, all of our classification depends on you finding some way to breed these creatures and see what actually happens. Diane?
Yes, that's right. So you've got to remember that fossils are dead things, and dead things do not breed. We can, one of the questions we had sent into the Ask site actually was about breeding between coyotes and wolves to produce a creature called a coy wolf. And this has been suggested to be a new species, and therefore it's evidence for evolution. But all it is really is confirmation that canines are one kind. It's just like the dingoes breeding with the farm dogs and the coyotes breeding with the domestic dogs. So you can get tremendous variation within the same kind, so that they are right. Phenotypical diversity just means different body structure. But you can produce that with very small changes in the genetics. And it's those growth factors, the one that we mentioned about the mutated dogs with the short legs, it's those growth factors. Now, you only need a very small change in the genetics, and the growth factors, which are the sort of stop-go signals to say, all right, grow here, don't grow there. Very small change can produce quite a big change in the actual body structure. So yes, variation within kind. Dogs, classic example.